Before I had kids, I thought that I would find all my inspiration from Pinterest. Ever since I've had kids, I've learned so much more through them and with them than anything, especially in my own creative practice. In today's episode, I will be sharing with you a sketchbook practice that I did together with my kids. It is a super fun little doodle where I got to pull out my Caran to play, and let's jump into today's episode. Where? What are you doing, Sophie? Okay. A color too.
Black?
No, I like I think I'm gonna choose blue. I like this blue.
Hey,
You chose grey, and I choose blue. Actually, grey is a really nice one. Maybe I should choose grey too.
This is dark grey.
Yeah, yours light grey. Oh, I like this yellow. Maybe I choose this yellow.
There's so much colors to
Yeah,
choose.
how to choose?
I think you use the bar colors to draw, and then you color with all the beautiful colors.
Oh, okay. I'll choose a boring color then. Okay, grey then. Oh no, these are wrong. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'll take the broken grey. Still works.
But it's a bit too tricky to draw.
It's okay. I will figure it out. Okay. You tell me when you want to change color. Oh, I tell you what, I put it close to you. And if you want to change color, you can have it. Okay, let's go.
Let's start. I want to start from
Lines. Meet my creative little 6-year-old. At the time of this recording, she was 5 and she's recently turned 6. One of the things that we enjoy doing together is creating.
You don't need to copy the colors.
Yeah, you don't. I'm not copying. I'm copying a little.
So, but you can copy. It's okay.
It's okay to copy still.
I'm copying a little
Oh,
too.
look, I spotted a tree outside. You can you can do a tree outside too if you
Oh
want.
yes.
That's really cute actually. I think I'll choose a different green. Maybe this green. Like
It's quite nice too.
yeah. As we were drawing, something that struck me and I was not prepared for was that she was comparing her art to mine. And this led me to realize that comparison does come from a pretty young age. It's not so much that comparison is a bad thing, but rather it is a way for us to seek a sense of belonging, seeing if we are on the right track, and wondering whether we fit in. I quickly realized that I should have modeled a little bit more difficulty as I was drawing, which I typically do during our play. During the time that we are sitting down playing together, whether it's jigsaw puzzles or Legos, I often show that I'm unable to do it, or I show feelings of frustration around it just to model to her that things can be difficult for adults as well, and that there is a learning process to everything. In the next few minutes, you're gonna hear a conversation between both of us where I try and tell her that I'm not too pleased with my drawing. My stairs look funny. It looks like windows. but it's okay. I'm gonna color this window
You
instead.
can draw a leaf. You can draw a Christmas tree.
Oh, it's a good one. I realized this when I told her about how I felt about my drawing. She instantly picked up that I needed encouragement, and that sense of empathy within her also made me realize that deep inside we all want a sense of feeling heard and feeling seen, which is exactly what she was hoping for me to feel as well when I told her about how I felt about my drawing. Now, this session was a really fun one just because it was so casual. I was just playing with my colors and I let go big time because I let her play with my Caran set. My Caran set is quite precious just because I love the colors and I had a little bit of fear that she was going to break some of the crayons, but I also told myself that they would still work the same even if they are broken. As I let my daughter into my world and my space, something I realized was how she cultivated this feeling of trust, where I trusted her to use mommy's supplies, I trusted her to use my space, and suddenly there was this feeling of closeness, just being close to me and creating together with me. I have to say, after this session, my art studio became a space where both my kids would come to self-regulate when they were not feeling happy. They would request to come to my room and paint or draw or use some of my supplies. So I would have a little tray where they are able to pull out some of my oil pastels, my paper that I'm no longer using, and they would actually be just doodling there, and I could see how the space has given them the opportunity to regulate themselves and calm down. Don't you think it's so amazing how our kids just have this ability to pull out new ways of doing things after they have seen what we have done? So in the next clip, you're going to see my oldest daughter. She replicated the same houses again, but this time without me sitting next to her. She started to do a new kind of version where she added Chinese New Year lanterns, which honestly I think is super cute and she's so proud of as well. So here's little Miss 5-year-old, and she started drawing this on her own in the morning. I thought it was so fun to see because after I finished breakfast, I came over and this was what I saw. I was just amazed that she had taken our session up to the next level, essentially, created things in her own way, using her own imagination, creating from what she remembered. And then, obviously, my second born wanted to join in the fun. So here she is in my room, using my oil pastels. She had asked me to draw out the shapes of some of these buildings, and then she's coloring them in. She actually really enjoyed coloring the entire sheet. You would see that she covers it from edge to edge, and this is really her own style of creating. While this video doesn't really share very much about my own art practice and what I'm doing, I want to share some insights about the things that I've learned through my kids' eyes. I noticed that every time they create and they paint, they just dive in. There's not much thought put into it, but it's not that they're not thoughtful about it, but rather they are just so excited to try, and they use their bodies so much more. Their hands, they're not afraid to get dirty. They really just want to explore things in their own terms. In comparison, I always notice the discomfort that I feel watching them get really, really messy, but I also know that it's part of their way of exploring, and I really need to just let it happen so that they also learn how to create limits for themselves. So back to how I take what I learn from my kids into my own practice. I've started to be a lot less precious with my art supplies. I learned that my art supplies are meant to be used, and I should be exploring and playing a lot more than just keeping them in my box and waiting for the perfect moment to create the perfect flower or find the perfect reference photo or the perfect timing, because there really isn't any. Whenever my kids get into creating or painting, it could be any time of the day. It could be just after breakfast, or even before they eat, or just before bed, and often it's those kind of timings. But I always find that it's fascinating that whatever idea comes to them, they just choose to express it in their own way, in their own colors, using different methods and textures. And I hope that this little video that I've created has also given you some insights that you can add to your practice, and hopefully by sharing what I've learned from my kids, this is as precious to you on my channel as it is to me. As always, share with me what your insights were, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching this as much as I have enjoyed creating it. I'll see you next week.